afternoon. Magistrate White, and I'm going to start conducting the video arraignments for the 62B District Court. Gentlemen out at the jail, could you please ask the deputy to unmute and state your name for the record?
Me?
What is your name, sir?
I am Frank Thomas Anthony Bruno, Your Honor.
All right, Deputy, we're going to need to start with Manrumba.
Okay.
Okay, sir, are you Manrumba?
Yes.
And how do you state your last name for the record, please?
Banjimbera?
All right. Are you going to need an interpreter this afternoon?
Yes, please.
And that's Kinyura Rwanda, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and get language line on the phone, so to give us just a moment, please.
Clerk to Sheila ETA and Donaldson.
Welcome to Language Line Solutions. Please enter your 6-digit client ID. For Spanish, press 1. For other, press 2. Please speak the name of the desired language.
Kenya Rwanda.
I understood. Tigrinya. If this is correct, say yes or press 1. If this is incorrect, say no or press 2. Please speak the name of the desired language.
Kenya Rwanda.
I understood. If this is correct.
Thank you for calling. I'm returning to Lucas. This is Juan. What's the name today?
Kenya Rwanda.
And the time here after the code?
Yes, 5315.
Thank you. Please hold for your Rwanda interpreter.
Okay. Thanks.
Please hold for an interpreter.
Hey, do you guys have Ben Warren for something?
Hello, my name is Agustin, number 16164. How can I help you?
Yes, this is Magistrate Michelle White with the 62B District Court in Kentwood. We have a gentleman out at the Kent County Jail who is scheduled to be arraigned on a criminal matter. And he speaks Kenya Rwanda. Are you able to assist?
Yes,
Thank you. So before we get started, interpreter, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide is true and accurate to the best of your ability, and you are to keep all confidential information confidential?
yes,
All right. So interpreter, if you could please identify yourself to the individual. His first name is Manrumba, and I do apologize. I do not recall how to pronounce his last name.
okay, now tell you I'm going.
Alô? Yego muri kunyumva ntabwo ndi kumva neza. Ntabwo ndi kumva neza, wasubiramo neza, wakwiga telefone nkakumva neza.
Interpreter,
Yego.
you're okay?
Yes, he said it's not.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What was that?
Yes, do you hear now?
Yes, yes. And the gentleman at the jail, are you able to hear the interpreter okay? Please interpret.
Ndi kukumva.
Okay, yes, you can go.
All right. All right, thank you. The first matter before the court is the people of the state of Michigan versus Menrumba. This is docket number 21-60163FD.
Uvuze ngo iki? Okay. Yego.
Okay. Sir, it is charged that on or about June 12th, 2021, in the city of Kentwood, you committed the following offenses. Count 1, operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, causing serious injury. That is a felony, punished by up to 5 years in prison and or up to $5,000 in fines plus court costs.
Okay.
And count 2, it is charged that you were operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, third offense. That is also a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or up to $5,000 in fines plus court costs. And sir, you are also charged with count 3, which is driving a motor vehicle while your license is suspended. This is a second offense. The penalties for that is, it is a misdemeanor, punished by up to 1 year in jail and or up to $1,000 in fines plus court costs. Sir, do you understand the charges and the penalties?
Yego ndabyumva.
Thank you. Did you have an opportunity to go over your rights with Attorney Barkema?
Uvuze ngo iki? Yego twavuganye.
Okay. Sir, one of those rights is the right to assistance of an attorney. Do you wish to have the assistance of an attorney on these matters?
ntabwo ndi kukumva sinzi ukuntu biri gucikagurika ntabwo mbyumvise neza. Njye nta muavoka ngira uretse uyu nguyu uri kumfasha.
Do you wish to have an attorney assist you in this matter, sir? Yes or no?
Yego.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So the court is going to enter a not guilty plea. And sir, you also have the right to remain. Go ahead, interpreter.
Thank you.
Sir, you also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing could be used against you in court. Sir, you also are entitled to have an attorney present during any questioning to which you consent to. If you are unable to afford your own attorney, the court will appoint one to represent you. You also have the right to a probable cause conference, and that is scheduled for you on June 28th at 1:45 in the afternoon here at the Kentwood District Court. And you also have the right to a preliminary examination, and that is scheduled for you on July 28th, 2021 at 10:30 in the morning here at the Kentwood District Court. Yes, a preliminary examination is scheduled on July 8th, 2021 at 10:30 in the morning here at the Kentwood District Court. So you also have the right to have bail set.
Okay.
Over the weekend, an interim bond was set in the amount of $20,000, 10%. Did you receive that information? Interpreter?
bari babimbwiye ko bari babimbwiye.
Thank you. So at this time, the court is going to review the bail and the terms. Attorney Barkema, is there anything you wish to share with the court in regards to the bail?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Yes, let me translate just for a few seconds. Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, attorney.
Okay, thank you. I have to just be clear that I can't really hear the interpreter very well. I get a lot of feedback. Mr. Banjiberi, I spoke with him this morning. He is here as a refugee from Rwanda. He has been in Kent County for 6 years now.
nabonye wenda umwanya mvugisha uyu mugabo amaze hano mu Rwanda igihe cy'imyaka itandatu ariko akaba ari impunzi iturutse mu Rwanda.
He is currently employed at JBS, where he works more than 40 hours a week and has been there for approximately a year now.
Afite akazi akora kuri GPS akora amasaha mirongo ine mu cy'umwaka.
He is currently engaged in counseling as a part of his probation through the 61st District Court.
Yes, can you show me that one more time? Thank you.
Given that he is stable in the county, is employed, and is already being supervised, we would ask the court to set a low, to release him on either personal recognizance or set a low 10% bond.
Rero umwana arimo gukora kandi ibijyanye akaba arimo gukomeza arimo gufata amasomo y'amategeko.
Thank you.
Murakoze.
Sir, is there anything you wish to share with the court regarding bail being determined?
Rero umwana mu rukiko
njyewe nifuzaga kubasa mbese nimba nasohoka wenda nkareba nimba nashaka uburyo nakwishyura amafaranga nkareba ko nasohoka nkajya gukomeza akazi kugira ngo nzashobore kwishyura amabire y'uko usanzwe mfite inzu kandi nishyura amabire n'iki nkajya kubyita nkakomeza no kwita ku kazi kandi amantu zabo nkazanyazamo izo ntuza bampaye izo ya appointment nkajya nzizamo ariko ndi gukora.
Okay, I just very if possible I can get out, go begin working, and I can be able to clear all the bills and the charges. And I think I'm for those appointments between Germany.
Thank you. So the court is in possession of a report from court services. According to the report from court services, they are recommending no PR bond at this time. And the recommendation is due to, there is a bench warrant out of the 63rd District Court for driving on a suspended license. And the report also indicates that you're currently on probation with the 17th Circuit Court for operating while intoxicated third offense. And in review of the report, you've got quite the extensive history of failing to appear for court matters. And the alleged offenses indicate somebody was seriously injured. So at this time, the court is inclined to go with the recommendation for court service from court services and continue bond in the amount of 20,000, 10%. Which means you must sign bond paperwork in the amount of $20,000. And you may post 10% of that to be released on these matters. And while out on bond, you are to promise to keep the court notified of your address. And is that address 6121 Woodfield Place, Southeast Apartment 9?
oya narimutse ntuye hafi yaho.
What is your current address?
6700 Crixton Lane, Southwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Zip code ni 4958. Urambajije? Naravuze ntuye kuri 6700 Crixton Lane, Southwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Zip code is 49548.
Thank you. Interpreter, the court received that. Is there an apartment number there?
103.
103. Thank you.
Yep.
So, while out on bond, you are to promise to keep the court notified of your address. You are not to commit any crimes while out on bond, and you are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. And you are not to consume or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs unless prescribed by a physician. You are not to misuse prescription drugs, and you are not to be in the presence of anyone using illegal drugs. As soon as possible, you are to report to court services as directed and submit to test as directed by court services or a police officer. Interpreter, did you get
Yeah,
that?
you can hear me somewhere.
As soon as possible, you are to report to court services as directed and submit to test as directed by court services or a police officer. You are to obtain counseling and a substance abuse assessment as directed by court services. And you are not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And you are to report to court for your probable cause conference on June 28th at 1:45 in the afternoon. Failure to report for court dates and times as ordered may result in a warrant for your arrest. Do you have any questions about the bond and the conditions?
Ikibazo namubaza ni ibijyanye no kwishyura ayo mafaranga ya bande, ni ukwishyura mbere yuko nsohoka cyangwa ni uko najya nyishyura buhoro buhoro? Sinzi, umwumbarize numve.
You have to pay the bond amount before you can be released.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, you're all set. Your paperwork will be out to the jail this afternoon.
So.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, Deputy, he's all set. Judge Sterkenburg's coming on to resume the arraignments. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Bruno?
What matter are you folks here on?
We can end the call. Thank you.
I couldn't
Thank you very much for your time. You can have a good day. Bye-bye.
hear you. I'm sorry, what matter are you here on? Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Out at the jail, what is your name, please?
My name is Frank Thomas Anthony Bruno. I'm 31 years of age. I'm a resident of Kentwood, Michigan.
Fantastic. We'll find your file.
All right.
All right, Mr. Bruno, I am Judge Sterkenburg. There was a warrant
Nice.
out for you because apparently you were convicted in this court by my predecessor of the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied. You were placed on probation, and it is alleged that you have violated the terms of your probation in a number of different ways. Did you receive a copy of the petition out there at the jail indicating how it is alleged that you violated your probation?
No, Your Honor, I have not. I was picked up on this a month ago, and I did plead guilty to it. It was from 2019. I was paying money on it. I had some family issues going on out of state where I had to leave to North Carolina because I was the only beneficiary to my father who'd passed. I am back now. I am just now starting to work. I'm doing DoorDash, and I've never had my license. I'm 31 years old, never had a license in the state of Michigan, so it's kind of hard for me to fly like an eagle without a license.
All right, you're getting a little bit ahead of me here. Mr. Maxwell, I don't have any information that indicates he pled guilty to these allegations, did he?
I do not.
All right, sir, I'm afraid I do not know what you are talking about, neither does your probation officer. So let me tell you briefly what the allegations are, and then we can talk a little bit more about your rights and what we're going to do next. It is
Okay.
that you violated your probation by failing to report on a number of dates in early 2021, by failing to pay fines, cost, and oversight fees, which currently total $549, that you failed to complete 24 hours of community service work in lieu of 3 days jail, and that you failed to clear at least one suspension from your license per month and verify. So those are the allegations. Conviction upon those allegations can result in a revocation of your probation and sentencing up to the maximum allowed under the law. In this case, that would be up to 93 days in jail. You have the right to have an attorney assist you at a
I like to
contested.
plead guilty, Your Honor.
You just want
I
to.
just want to take care. I want to take care of this. I don't want to be. Your Honor, I would like. I've had time served in. I do not want to be on probation. I do not wish. Excuse me for demanding. I do not wish to be on probation. I would just like to have time served if I could, please, because I've never had a license. I've never been taught how to drive in this state. I've never broken any laws driving besides driving on a suspended license. So I've never had it revoked. I would like to have a chance to have my license and not be on probation. I have several days accounted for on this matter. This is over a year old. I've never even met my probation.
I am going to stop you right there. There are several things in life that I would like, and I haven't gotten them. And I don't think that telling a judge of any kind exactly what that is will get it for me. So
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to confirm, and you're going to answer my questions. I want to confirm you are not requesting a contested hearing in this matter, correct?
No, Your Honor.
And you are not seeking the assistance of an attorney.
No, Your Honor.
The allegation that you failed to report is directed on January 28th, March 11th, and April 8th of 2021. How do you plead?
I plead guilty, Your Honor. I was taking care of my father who died of COPD.
I'm going to
The allegation that you failed to pay
only
fines
answer the judge's question
fees
today.
that currently total 500. Although, Mr. Maxwell, is there an additional bench warrant fee added to this now?
No, but 49 is.
As to the allegation that you failed to pay fines, cost, and oversight fees, which currently total $549, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
To the allegation that you failed to complete 24 hours community service work in lieu of 3 days jail?
Guilty, Your Honor. I was not received that. I was out of state, Your Honor.
And that you failed to clear at least one suspension from your license per month and verify. How do you plead?
I didn't know how, honestly, Your Honor, I don't even know what a suspension is. I don't know how many suspensions I have. I've never been a licensed driver in this state as much as I'd like to be, so I could be successful and support my 6-year-old. I mean, this is all new to me, but I plead guilty to it because I was in fact caught driving red-handed in 2019 and placed on probation. And I apologize for driving in your streets without being aware of all the laws and traffic violations or traffic. I don't know the name of it, Your Honor.
Mr. Bruno, as a
Traffic
defense
laws.
attorney in this hearing, I'm going to recommend that you only respond to the judge's questions. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
You should take
Okay.
that recommendation. Mr. Maxwell, is there any objection to simply striking allegation number 4? All right. After you have pled guilty, Mr. Bruno, I'm going to have your probation officer catch me up to speed. As I indicated, you were convicted by my predecessor. I have little to no information about you, but I'm going to get a chronology from Mr. Maxwell right now.
So this is the violation. The first is for missing appointments, not being provided not being license, and not continuing to get a license. He pled guilty to those counts, was extended until May 23rd, 2021. Was given the same 24 hours community service work, he was in jail. We then had by phone on December 17th, 2020, we went over his lawyer's probation and amended warrant. At that time, he said he understood every single condition on his probation. He said, I had not heard from him. He's majority of court straight, girl hours, 24 hours. He just submitted to leave the state times. Probations are 30 days. And fines and costs of court, certain additional jail.
Can you clarify as to whether or not at some point he had a valid license?
Not while he was on probation.
All right. Ms. Barkema, I'll hear your comments as they relate to Mr. Bruno.
Your Honor, I don't have a lot to say about Mr. Bruno. I was not aware that this was actually a probation violation arraignment until just now. My understanding was it was a bench warrant for failing to appear, but Mr. Bruno, I did have an opportunity to speak with him earlier. He has said much the same to the court already, as he did share with me during that time. I know also that he has been struggling quite a bit in terms of financial resources. I suspect that is why he was not able to meet his financial obligations on probation. I know he has been selling plasma in order to try and get by. That's how desperate things have been for him. And I believe that he has been in since Friday and also has a couple of days initially, I think, up front on this case. So I think he probably has somewhere between 4 and 6 days of credit in this matter.
All right. Now, Mr. Bruno, this is your opportunity to share with me all of those important details you think are going to influence my sentence.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. It's been hard for me. I have a 6-year-old I've been fighting tooth and nail for custody for, trying to pay back fines out of different districts in Grand Rapids from crimes that I had paid and done my time from years ago. I've been out of trouble out of everywhere besides Kentwood now for the driving. And I apologize for driving on your streets once again. I'm just trying to get my life at 31 years of age out of the system completely and just be a law-abiding citizen and pay my taxes and take care of my family, Your Honor. And that's all I want in life. That's all that I think that I should be asked of to do as a man in society and in this great country. And I do apologize severely and deeply and depthly that I drove on your streets without a license. I was doing it to put food on my table, and I'm very sorry.
Mr. Bruno, I am not unsympathetic. I do not appreciate being spoken over, but I am not unsympathetic. At 31 years of age, you should have a valid license and you should have a job. You shouldn't be sitting where you're sitting right now.
Yes, sir. No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
It is clear to me that you did not have a strong understanding of what was happening, despite your assertions to Mr. Maxwell that you understood the conditions of your probation. You've been here twice. You did plead guilty to probation violation allegations, but that was not with me. That was with Judge Kelly. You've been on probation in this matter since November of 2019. You shouldn't be. They should be done and over with, and things should be moving forward in your life. And that is what we will do today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Don't thank me yet. You haven't heard what I'm about to say.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Kelly sentenced you to 30 days in jail, suspended if you obtained a driver's license as directed. Just a second. Mr. Maxwell, are you able to confirm any upfront jail time on this matter?
I see that he was booked on 20th of November 2019.
So no time up front, 1 day. 1 day up front. He's been there since Friday. So that's a total of 5 days. Six days credit. Where's your daughter now, Mr. Bruno?
My son, ma'am, he is with his mother in Granville, Byron Center Township. He is 6. I'm going through a custody battle right now, trying to get 50% custody with him. I just talked to Rebecca Murphy through FOC Services this Friday. I was having court this coming week to discuss the matter of lowering my payments because I was working 2 jobs, and now that I'm down to 1 job, which I'm really not supposed to be working doing DoorDash because I don't have a license. I was donating plasma, and she is going to get me in court this week for a very important court date to lower my costs and try to figure out my support because it's since COVID, we haven't had a court date in 15 months, Your Honor.
Oh, I recognize it's been incredibly difficult to get into the Friend of Court since then. Do you have a court date? For example, is it set Friday for a motion hearing morning in family court, or is it to be determined hearing?
It's to be determined. I was supposed to call her this morning, ma'am. I was also supposed to start my other job today, working at People Ready, doing asphalt flagging. Like I said, I've been trying to work every chance I get. It's just hard without a license. I mean, being properly functioning adult.
I say that all the time. I actually say that to people sitting in your seat and sitting in this courtroom all the time. And it is practically impossible to be a functional adult or a parent without a valid driver's license. Here is my issue. You were given all of the tools and assistance you could possibly need towards getting a license through probation in this court, and you did not do so. You didn't do any of the things that were listed on this probation order. This is Judge Kelly's order. It would not have been my choice to give you 30 days of a suspended sentence on a driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied charge, but that is what is here. And here is what I am going to do. I am reducing that to 21 days because I think that that is appropriate in the circumstances. 21 days, credit for 6 days served. Fines and costs of $549 are due immediately. If you can't pay that, it is a pay and stay. Can't locate my cash calculator. There it is.
Your Honor, is that money owed but before I get out of jail?
Yeah, pay or stay with it.
10 days, pay or stay. Pay it and go, or stay for 10 days, and it will be to the degree it can be waived, it will be waived. If it can't be waived, it will be administratively closed. Good luck, Mr. Bruno.
Yes, Your Honor. And you said I have 6 days on that 10 days already?
No, I said you have 6. I said you have.
I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic.
Days. I know you're a little anxious. I get it. I sentenced you to 21 days, credit for 6 days served. That goes down to 15 days. Pay it the fines and costs or stay an additional 10 days.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're all set. Good luck.
Have a good day, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Warren?
Hey, Rory, could you explain that to me?
I feel I should clarify, Your Honor, also the confusion on my part was mine because I did not have the paperwork that explains the probation violation. I had stuff from the jail, didn't specify it, that's all. Not misinformation from
I have been in your seat. I have immense empathy for the type of information that comes through to my MIDC attorney.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
What is your name?
Especially today.
Ben Warren.
Ben Warren. Mr. Warren, your case is similar to the one before it. You were convicted in this court by my predecessor of the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied. It is alleged that you violated your probation in a number of different ways. Ms. Barkma, am I to assume then that you have not reviewed the petition with him?
I have not, Your Honor. I believe that I had Mr. Warren for a number of new offenses.
Well, I don't have him on my list for new offenses in this court. I only have this bench warrant for failing to appear for a probation violation arraignment. And so here are in brief, Mr. Warren, and this is the State of Michigan versus Ben Warren, case number 20-30266ST. Here are the ways it is alleged that you have violated your probation. First, by failing to report by phone on November 13th of 2020, December 8th of 2020, and January 11th of this year, 2021. By failing to pay fines, costs, and oversight fees, which currently total $402. And by failing to pay at least one suspension per month from your license. Oh, I'm just being handed new files. Okay. Turns out you were right after all, Ms. Barkema.
Happens occasionally, Your Honor, not very often, that I won't get used to it.
Oh, and they're on page 2 of my list. So, okay. Let's deal with the probation violation first. The last allegation is that you failed to clear at least one suspension per month from your license and verify that with your probation officer. You have the right to have an attorney represent you on these allegations. You have the right to a contested hearing. At a contested hearing, the probation officer would only have to have a better case than you that you violated your probation in any of these ways. Conviction upon the 3 technical violations would put you poised for revocation of your probation and sentencing up to the maximum allowed under the law, which is 93 days for this offense. Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney for you to hold a contested hearing on these allegations?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a good phone number, Mr. Warren?
Yes.
What is it?
616-325-6787.
And what is your address?
235 32nd Street, Southwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49504.
I will appoint the Kent County Office of the Defender to represent you. We will set you up for a contested hearing on this. We'll say not guilty on the allegations. You'll come back June 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon for your contested hearing with your attorney. We'll get you some information on how to contact your attorney. In the meantime, all of your probation conditions remain in place. You are to follow the provisions of your probation order, and I am setting a $100 cash bond on this. That is that on this matter, Mr. Warren, but I do have a number of other files. It looks like 4 files. First, I have the State of Michigan versus Ben Warren, case number 21-60162FY. In this matter, sir, it is alleged that on or around June 2nd in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of interfering with electronic communications, which is a felony. It is punishable by up to 2 years in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. It is further alleged that same date and time, you committed the offense of domestic violence, second offense, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. You understand those charges and the maximum potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Barkema regarding your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
One of your rights is the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court might appoint one to represent you. Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you on this matter?
Yes.
Paperwork down to court services for them to make a determination as to whether or not you qualify, and if so, whom to appoint. For now, we'll say not guilty on each of these counts, so that gives you the benefit of the time and opportunity to speak with an attorney. We'll schedule you for a probable cause conference on June 28th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and a preliminary examination July 8th at 10:30 in the morning. Those will be 62B District Court. The purpose of these hearings is for the government to prove that there's probable cause to believe that the crimes that you were committed, and probable cause to believe that you are the individual who committed them. The last thing the court must address is the matter of bond. I think what we're going to do is the arraignment on the other 3 files and then address bond at one time. The second file before the court is the State of Michigan versus Ben Warren III, case number 21-60156FY. In this matter, it is alleged that on or around June 9th in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer, which is a felony punishable by up to 2 years and a fine of up to $2,000. Do you understand the charge and the maximum potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you similarly asking the court to appoint an attorney for you on this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll send that paperwork down. We'll say not guilty for now. The court dates are the same as I previously read to you. The purpose of those hearings is the same, for the government to prove probable cause, and we will address bond all at once. The third file I have is the State of Michigan versus Ben Warren III, case number 21-30183SM. In this matter, it is alleged that on or around May 16th in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of domestic violence, second offense, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Do you understand that charge and the maximum potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a misdemeanor file. It will stay. So an attorney will not be appointed for you by court services in this matter. What I'm going to do is appoint an attorney through the Kent County Office of the Defender in this case, although it will very likely be noted by court services that the same felony attorney should have this case. I'm going to make that request for you. I don't know if that will happen. That's the request that I'll make. If not, you'll have another KCOD attorney. I don't have a pretrial date on this, Ms. White. I only have the felony dates.
Yes, Your Honor, that was done in your June 28th at 2 o'clock for the pretrial conference.
Well, we have it already set for June 28th at 2 o'clock for a probable cause conference. We're doing them together. Okay. All right. We'll have you here on the same date for a pretrial conference in that manner. And the last file the court has before it is the State of Michigan versus Ben Warren III, case number 20-60250FY. In this matter, sir, it is alleged that on or around September 25th of 2020 in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of possession of methamphetamine, a controlled substance, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in the Department of Corrections and a fine of $15,000. Do you understand that charge and the maximum potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, you spoke with Ms. Parkema regarding your rights, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In this matter, we will send some paperwork down to court services for them to make a determination as to whether or not you qualify, and if so, whom to appoint. We'll say not guilty. We'll set you up with those same 2 dates, June 28th for a probable cause conference and July 8th for a preliminary examination in this matter. So All of that being said, Ms. Barkema, I'd be pleased to hear your comments regarding bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And also for the record, I would just ask the court to note that I did review the felony offensive rights form with Mr. Warren, and he did give me permission to sign that on his behalf. He has been a lifelong resident of Kent County. He has been residing with his girlfriend at the Hawthorne they've been set up there with the family promise.
I'm sorry, he's been residing where? Because for whatever reason, I got some static there.
Sure. I've been having some microphone issues today. So he's residing at the Hawthorne. They've got set up there through the family promises, I believe it's called.
Family promise.
Yeah, family promise.
Family promise put you at the Hawthorne Suites?
Be my girl and her, yeah, our kids, yep.
Okay.
She is currently pregnant and due in the next couple of months. Mr. Warren had a employment position lined up to hang drywall with a friend of his to start this week. And has, like I said, he's been in the area.
I'm definitely do somebody that lay some drywall, but I got crib, make some in my basement.
There's noise at the jail, I think, Your Honor.
There is noise at the jail, yes.
Like I said, he's been in the area. We've got a good address for him and a phone number. I don't think his appearance will be a problem. Given all of that, we'd ask the court to set a low bond, especially given that he's got some definite financial restraints.
All right, I am reviewing a court services report here. They are recommending no personal recognizance bond. There is something of personal record here. It does include a couple of bench warrants for failing to appear. It includes assaultive offenses and alcohol-related offenses. The assortment of offenses before the court are comprised of both assaultive offenses and drug offenses, which means that I have concerns for both public safety and your ability to return and
I
stand
do
for
not,
these matters.
Your Honor, I do not drink or even use any drug substance.
Excellent. I hope that is in fact the case. On all of these matters, on all of these matters, sir, I'm setting a 5,010% bond. $500 each. If you are released from the Kent County Jail, you must show up on time for all court appearances. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You must keep us notified of your address, which we currently have as 6135 West River Drive. I don't think that's the address of the Hawthorne Suites. What, do you have an address? Or can you give me West River Drive?
The Hawthorne Suites is to 2701 East Beltline.
What apartment are you in?
A building 11, room 1112.
Building 11, room what?
1112.
Okay.
Your Honor, he did, I think, previously also give you that 32nd Street address as a mailing address. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I think he did also give that 235 32nd Street mailing address.
Yes, that's my sister's.
Did you put that on the advice of rights form?
Yes, that's what when I send that over, it will be on there, yes.
Okay, because I don't have that. I have the Hawthorne Suites and this other West River Drive. Say again, where does your sister live?
235 235 32nd Grand 32nd Street, Grand Rapids, Michigan. 49504.
All right, you may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You may not possess or purchase any firearms or ammunition or dangerous weapons. What is the name of your significant other, sir?
Krista Reisner.
See, the issue is that she is the alleged victim in both of these domestic violence allegations.
I don't see how that is. We haven't had no police contact with either me or her. Either or, I can still stay at my sister's, so it don't matter. If I get out, I can still stay at my sister's. That's on 32nd Division. Madison.
I am placing a prohibition on you. You are not to have any contact with Krista Reisner. Krista Reisner. Word it out. You're not to consume or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs unless prescribed by a physician. You are not to misuse, prescribe, or be in the presence of anyone using illegal drugs. You are to report to court services on the first business day after release. That is the courthouse downtown, 180 Ottawa Avenue, Suite 2100. We'll send that address and phone number out there to you. You will submit to tests as they direct, or as police officers direct. You will also obtain any counseling or substance abuse assessment that is directed by court services. I think that'll do it for now, Mr. Warren. Conditions of your bond are the same on each of those 4 new files, and we'll see you back here shortly for your probation violation hearing.
Thank you.
Bernard?
What's your name, sir?
Matthew Bernard, Your Honor.
Is that the matter here? All right, the court is calling the case of the State of Michigan versus Matthew Bernard Jr., case number 21-60165 FY. I'm Judge Sterkenburg. You are here for arraignment. In this matter, the government alleges that on or around June 13th of the year in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of interfering with electronic communications. That is a felony. It is punishable by up to 2 years in the Department of Corrections and a fine of up to $1,000. It is also alleged that on the same date and time, you committed an assault or an assault and battery upon one Kaylee Nicole Alverson, a person with whom you have a dating relationship or a family relationship. That is domestic violence. It is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of $500 plus court costs. Do you understand the charges and the maximum potential penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Barkema regarding your rights?
I did.
Do you understand your rights?
I do.
One of your rights is the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one might be appointed for you. Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you on this matter?
I am not.
Well, Barkema is here for arraignment, and I would think it would be her advice that you should request a court-appointed attorney. Although I have some individuals in the courtroom. Yes. Are you his parents? Are you hiring an attorney for them? All right. All right. Your parents are here, and they are indicating that you do not need a court-appointed attorney.
Okay.
This is a felony. do not want you to proceed without the assistance of counsel, and we know that you will have one retained, so we are going to say not guilty for you on each of these offenses. We'll set you up with a couple of court dates. The first will be a probable cause conference. It's set for June 28th at 2:30 in the afternoon. The second is a preliminary examination, which is set for July 8th at 10:30 in the morning. The purpose of these hearings is for the state to prove that there's probable cause to believe that the crimes were committed, cause to believe that you are the individual who committed them. Ms. Barkema, I've reviewed the information I have in front of me. It looks like Mr. Bernard has little to no criminal record. I'll hear whatever other comments you have regarding bond.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. We did review the felony advice of rights form. Mr. Bernard did give me permission to sign on his behalf. He is 18 years old, resides with his parents. Obviously, they are there and supportive in the courtroom. He was supposed to be starting a job today. I know that. He does have a child on the way. The girlfriend, who is the alleged victim in this case, I believe, has been residing with Matthew and his parents. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration when deciding about any no contact order that may go in place today.
Who lives at 4190 28th Street?
I have no idea.
It's
Your Honor, I have no.
55 Lake Drive.
Correct, Your Honor.
This is alleged to have happened on or around 4190 28th Street. Were you in a vehicle then?
I was in a vehicle, yes, Your Honor.
That is the general area. Nobody lives there. That's why you don't know why. That's why you don't know who lives there. All right. Would you like to make a comment in regards to bond? You may come up and address the court. And stand right there at the lectern. Your dad? All right, what is your name? Matthew Bernard. What should the court know about your son before I set bond?
He's recently been to force you for a week for treatment of anger and substance abuse. I would like to see him continue with counseling in regards to that.
So he's actively engaged in counseling right now. Does this?
That's not begun the counseling. It's been postponed a couple times. We are not actively started it.
Does this young lady live at this same address, 1855 Lake Drive?
Right now, yes, she's gone. She's staying with her mother right now.
So he can come back to that address and the contact between the two of them would be limited to non-existent, right?
If that's what the court orders, yes.
She has someplace else to go is what I'm getting at. Okay. And you are willing to have him come home and live at your address, understanding there may be some mental substance abuse or anger issues that he's dealing with. You intend to support and assist him?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you want me to know?
No, he's generally a good kid. Trying to do the right thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Bernard, is there anything else that you would, Mr. Bernard, is there anything that you would like me to consider before I set the conditions of your bond?
Yeah, just basically what my dad said. I've been in and out of counseling recently. I just got out of Forest View for substance abuse. I'm on the right track. I don't have any intent to relapse. I'm more than excited for my daughter who's on the way on September 21st. And yeah, that's all, Your Honor.
I hear a couple of contradictions because I hear I'm sober and have no intention of relapsing, but there is allegation of drug use in this affidavit of probable cause. So here's what I am going to do. I appreciate that your family is here to support you and that you have no prior criminal record. I'm setting a personal recognizance bond in this matter. Full bail is $5,000. When you are released from the Kent County Jail, you must show up on time for all court appearances. You may not leave the station without the court's permission. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You must keep us notified of your address. You may have no contact with Kaylee Alverson in person, in writing, by telephone, text, by email, by social media, or by a third person. You may not possess or purchase any firearms or ammunition or dangerous weapons. You may not consume or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs unless prescribed by a physician. You are not to misuse prescription drugs or be in the presence of anyone using illegal drugs. You will report to court services. That's at the courthouse downtown, 180 Ottawa Avenue. We'll send you that address and phone number. Any tests that they direct, as well as any substance abuse assessment that they require, or counseling. I want you in counseling. Another condition of your trial release is that you continue or begin or be in counseling, either through services or through private pay and direction of your family. That is one of the conditions of your pretrial release. You're all set. You don't have to put up any money today. He'll be processed this afternoon. I imagine then he'll be able to give you a call to be picked up. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Bernard?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me? All right. I'll see you back here on June 28th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.
Nice.
Mr. Grimes, I still have 7 files in front of me. For, you know, your planning purposes.
No problem.
All right, your name is Tristan Rice.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rice, you are here for arraignment. The government alleges that on or around June 12th of this year in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. That is a felony. It is punishable by up to 10 years in the Department of Corrections and a fine of up to $5,000 plus court costs. It is similarly alleged that at the same date and time you committed the offense of interfering with electronic communications. That is a felony. It is punishable by up to 2 years from the Department of Corrections and a fine of $1,000. And last, it is alleged that on the same date and time you committed the offense of domestic violence, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of $500. Do you understand the charges and the maximum potential penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Barkema regarding your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
One of your rights is the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court might appoint one to represent you. Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you on this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will send some paperwork down to court services for them to make a determination as to whether or not you qualify, and if so, whom to appoint. Because 2 of these are felonies, we will say not guilty on all, bundle the misdemeanor up with the felonies. I want you to have the benefit of the before you proceed. Ms. Barkema is here only for today. We'll set you up with 2 appearances before this court. The first will be June 28th at 10 in the afternoon. The second will be July 8th at 10:30 in the morning. Purpose of the probable cause conference, the second is a examination, is for the government to prove that the crimes charged were committed and that you are in fact the individual who committed them. I have a court services report here, Ms. Barkema. It states that he is not eligible for, well, doesn't say he's not eligible, but it is recommending no personal recognizance bond. At this time, it states he is on probation for aggravated assault in Wexford County, alleging the same victim in this offense. I think there's a hold on him. It also indicates that he is unemployed with no stable source of income. I'd be happy to hear any additional comments you have, Ms. Barkema.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Rice did in fact share with me that he was on.
You'll have to speak up.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I wonder if I might take this join the Zoom call on my own computer.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Can
I run to my other computer? in my own office.
Well, how about we do this? How about we try to make it through Mr. Rice's matter, and then while I introduce myself to the next defendant, you can do that.
Great plan. Okay. Mr. Rice did share with me that he is on probation. He has a probation hold in Lexingburg. He actually had secured 2 employment options, one through Workbox and one through Gill. That was either going to be at Hutchinson or Equal, that would have started today. He has been working really hard to try and reestablish relationships and become more stable for all of his children. He has been at his current address for the last 2 or 3 years. That is actually up in Mesick and Wexford County. That's where he's on probation out of. And his contact with Kent County is because a couple of his children do live here, and he's trying to become more engaged with them. He is currently participating in counseling through his probation. It was actually self-initiated, but the judge decided to make that part of his probation term because if Mr. Rice found that helpful, the judge was going to find that helpful for him as well. Given all of that, acknowledging that he is not releasable currently because of that hold, we would just ask that the court set a low bond in hopes that Mr. Rice could post that after his hold is lifted.
All right, thank you, Ms. Barkema. We'll see you on another device here in a few minutes. Mr. Rice, I have your address at 006 Riverview Road in Mesick, Michigan. Is that where you live?
6006 Mesick, Michigan. Yes, Your Honor.
6006 Riverview in Mesick, correct?
Yeah, Riverview Road in Mesick, Michigan. While down here, I have been staying with my sister over on Milwaukee Avenue. I have been trying to get a place because I have money from working when I was in Mesick. I have to get at least another $600 for my down payment, my deposit on an apartment. That's the reason I was looking for jobs. I had one starting at Hutchinson as a molding operator. I was supposed to start today, but unfortunately, I can't because I'm here.
What's at 2701 East Beltline? Which?
That is the Hawthorne Inn Suites.
What I thought. Yeah. All right, sir, I'm setting bond in this matter at 2,010%. When you are released from the Kent County Jail, you must show up on time for all court appearances. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You must keep us notified of your address. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You may have no contact with Nyasia Miller in person, in writing, by telephone, by text, by social media, or by a third person. You may not possess or purchase any firearms or ammunition or dangerous weapons. You are not to be on the premises of the Hawthorne Suites. You are not to consume or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs unless prescribed by a physician. You are not to misuse prescription drugs or be in the presence of anyone using illegal drugs. It appears to this court that you're already under supervision, and so I am not going to add any additional reporting requirements. We'll see you back here on June 20th.
Your Honor, can I ask that I be allowed to communicate with my children through at least through a third party? Because 3 of my children are with the alleged victim, and I have no intention on contacting her whatsoever because I intend on pressing charges myself as soon as I get out.
It's a very reasonable request, Mr. Rice, but I'll say this. She's the victim in a matter on which you've already been convicted, and I will hear argument from your attorney as to whether or not bond should be modified at your upcoming probable cause conference, but for now, I'm saying no contact.
Okay, ma'am, I understand.
Request that I would be happy to revisit with more information.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
You know I'm not there. You know I'm not there like I can see. Real shit, you want to see us ready for that?
You're Matthew Donaldson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Donaldson, the city of Kent is alleging that on or around April 13th of this year, in the county of Kent, you committed the offense of retail fraud in the 3rd degree, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, a fine of up to $500 plus court cost. Do you understand the charge and the maximum potential penalties?
Yes, ma'am.
You were scheduled to be arraigned on this matter previously, but you did not appear. And then we ordered you to show cause, and you did not appear. I think maybe our mail is not getting to you. What is your address?
Yeah, see, I found out that my address was forwarded, and then I changed my address, and then I'm not getting any of my mail. Also, on the scene, with the officers,
I want to hear about what did or didn't happen. I want to know where I can send you mail.
to my mother's address. Is 3798 76th Street.
Caledonia, that's where we've been sending it.
I'm not getting any of my mail there. I don't know what's going on. I'm not even able to prove my identity right now.
Do you have an email address, Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
What is, here's what I'm gonna, so email addresses are considered by SCAO, that's our Supreme Court Administrative Office, to be private information. We are streaming live on YouTube, and we are in an open courtroom. You can choose to provide me your email address, and we can send you email notifications of your upcoming court dates. That way you don't miss mail, but you are not required to provide it because of the open nature of these proceedings. You could subsequently contact the court and provide that email. Would you like to provide an email address to me?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
MONEY 19 MATT 91 @gmail.com.
All right. Well, at least we have that way to communicate with you, and we are.
Yeah, my identity is being stolen or used or something like that. And like I said, with the officers, they said that the
Happen. Today is not the day. Miss Barkham is coming in right now. She would tell you the same thing. So did you have
what?
an opportunity to discuss your rights with Attorney Barkama, who you just saw appearing on the screen?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right. As to the offense of retail fraud, 3rd degree, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? What did Ms. Barkama
Guilty.
advise you of?
I can, you're cutting in and out. Okay. I can barely hear what you're saying sometimes.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
I asked you how you plead, guilty or not guilty. You hesitated, and I said, so what advice did Ms. Barkama give you?
I plead guilty.
All right, if you tender a guilty plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your voluntary choice then to enter into a plea and give up your right to a trial and all other rights that go along with it, including your right to the assistance of an attorney?
Yes, it is.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, I'm just accepting full responsibility for the actions that I took.
All right, well, on April 13th of this year, what did you do that makes you guilty of this offense?
I committed a retail fraud.
Did you take merchandise that was being offered for sale at Family Dollar?
Yes, yes, I did.
And was the store open to the public and open for business at that time?
Yes, it was.
Was it valued at somewhere under $200?
Yeah, I believe it was just some vitamins.
And did you make any attempt to pay for that?
I can't. I did. I tried getting a job and get my ID, but I can't prove my identity.
Okay. So you left the store with this medicine or vitamins without paying for it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find that is sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. I'm going to schedule this matter for sentencing on another date. I'm going to send you for a pre-sentence investigation. Someone from our probation department will reach out to you regarding that interview and sentencing date.
Okay.
I'm going to set a personal recognizance bond at $500 in this matter until your sentencing date. When you are released from the Kent County Jail, you must show up on time for all court appearances. You may not commit any crimes while out of bond. You may not leave the state of Michigan.
I'm not hearing what she's saying, sir.
There is a lot of noise coming from the jail, deputy. Are you able to hear me okay, deputy?
You were cutting in and out, Your Honor, but right now you're coming through loud and clear.
I don't know what to do about that. If it keeps up, please let me know. Mr. Donald, I'm not moving the phone or anything. I'm not jostling anything, so I don't know where the distortion is coming from. Mr. Donaldson, you must show up on time for all court appearances. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. Keep us notified of your address. If you figure that address thing out and you need us to send mail somewhere else, call us and we will do that.
Okay.
We're not to be
So
on
you
the
give me,
of any Family Dollar location. What is your question?
so you gave me a bond?
A personal recognizance bond.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You do not have to put up today to be released. I don't know if we're able. We won't have a sentencing date for you today. We'll have to wait until you meet with probation. And so you are to contact probation here at the 62B District Court, 4740 Walma, and set up a pre-sentence on your first business, on the first business day after your release. You understand?
Yes.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
Rolling. This is,
What is your name, sir?
Anthony Grunick.
All right, this is the state of Michigan versus Anthony Gronick, case number 21-60148FY. Mr. Gronick, the state of Michigan alleges that on or around, well, between the dates of July 30th and September 3rd of 2020 in the city of Kentwood, county of Kent, you committed the offense of criminal sexual conduct, second degree, a person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. This felony, it is punishable by up to 15 years in the Department of Corrections, lifetime electronic monitoring upon parole from prison, mandatory STD testing, and DNA taken upon arrest. It is further alleged that during the same period of time, you committed the offense of criminal sexual conduct, second degree, again, under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older, which is a felony punishable by up to 15 years in the Department of Corrections, lifetime electronic monitoring upon parole, and mandatory testing and DNA sample. Do you understand the charges and the maximum potential penalties?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to discuss your rights with Ms. Barkema?
Yes.
Your rights is the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court might appoint one for you. Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you in these matters?
Yes.
All right, we'll send some paperwork down to court services for them to make a determination as to whether or not you qualify, and if so, whom to appoint. These are serious allegations, sir, and so we'll say not guilty on both counts. At this time, we'll set you up with a probable cause conference and a preliminary examination. We'll have to get those for you in just a second. The last thing the court is going to address is the matter of bail. Bail is set based on a number of different factors, including risk of flight, risk of public safety, your prior criminal record, if any, including any failures to appear. Ms. Barkema, I do not have a court services report in this matter, so I will hear your comments, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did speak to Mr. Groening this morning. I did go over the felony advice of rights form with him, and he did give me permission to sign that on his behalf. He currently has a mailing address out of Wyoming, and was able to give me a good phone number. Both of those will be on the advice of rights form. He's a lifelong resident of Kent County. He has a high school diploma. Has been at the place where he's currently staying for about 3 months. There is I think given the nature of the allegations, that has something to do with that, as well as the fact that there is a abuse neglect case pending, and his 2 children have been removed and placed in foster care. With all of that, and he is employed. He's been working for the last 6 months at Goodwill. He works 40+ hours a week there. And my only additional consideration I'd ask the court is regarding any kind of no contact. I would ask the court to defer to whatever contact or parenting time is ordered out of the family court case, rather than putting a hard and fast rule in with the criminal case, so that those can work kind of more hand in hand. And just set bond in an amount that Mr. Groening could potentially post based on his income from working at Goodwill.
Ms. Barkema, did you recognize how much more clear the sound got about 35 seconds ago?
Yep, I did.
Jail, I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Deputy, I'm gonna have you unmute in just a few minutes. Well, because I would like to hear Mr. Groening's comments, but we could not hear at all from the jail. There was just too much noise. So
I noticed there was a great deal of interference also. Wasn't sure where it was coming from.
I'm going to ask you to unmute now, as so Mr. Groening can share with me any comments that he has regarding bond conditions. Mr. Groening, do you have any other active or pending criminal matters?
Not at this time.
Do you have a criminal record to speak of? I don't have any information about you.
No, there's no criminal record. That's why you have nothing to see.
Well, ordinarily they'd give me a report stating just that, if that's the case, but I have no report on you. So what else should I know about you in order to set an appropriate bond?
I'm already doing guidance counseling for this thing for my kids, and I already got approved to see my son. So they already know that I cannot see Albina, so I'm not going to see Albina. That is the daughter that you guys accused me of touching, but there was no video or nothing, so.
Okay. You're working, you're a longtime resident of Kent County. You have little to no criminal record. Is that correct? That's what you're saying to me?
Correct.
Where were you working before you worked at Goodwill?
Menards.
Menards? All right, I'm going to set full bail in this matter at $2,000. Bond is 10%. That's $200 that you'll have to put up. When you're released from the Kent County Jail, you must show up on time for all court appearances. I've scheduled you for afternoon and a preliminary examination July 8th at 10:30 in the morning.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What was the PBC date? You cut out.
June 28th.
Thank you.
5. Prelim, July 8th, 10:30 in the morning. You must show up on time for those dates. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You must keep us notified of your address. I have that as 4289 Clyde Park Avenue, number 8. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. I am ordering that you follow all safety planning in place in the abuse and neglect, including for child visitation. Beyond that, I will have you report to court services at 180 Ottawa Avenue, Suite 2100. That's the courthouse downtown. We'll send you their address and phone number. Submit to any tests as they direct. Keep in contact with them. You are not to consume or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs unless prescribed by a physician. You are not to misuse prescription drugs or be in the presence of anyone using illegal drugs, and you are not to possess or purchase any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons. That's it for me, Mr. Groening. You're all set for today. We'll see you back here on June 28th.
Here's good.
What?
Just a moment out there at the jail. Yes. Are you, oh, yeah, that's fine. It's all right. Abide by the case, yeah. All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Leanne Michelle Hattersbeck. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Case number 21-503150M. Man, the City of Kentwood alleges that on or around May 15th of this year, in the City of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of trespassing. That is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 30 days in jail and a fine of up to $250. Do you understand the charge and the maximum potential penalties?
I do. I just was unaware of where this had happened.
It is alleged to have happened at 1920 44th Street Southeast in the City of Kentwood.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, my car had stalled out there overnight.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Barkema regarding your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney to represent you on this matter?
I had just asked to plead not guilty. I haven't had a chance to really deal with them. I was told by sheriffs that if I needed to retrieve my vehicle, I needed to have an escort go with me, and I've just had some other extenuating circumstances not permitting me to do that. So
it sounds to me like you could use the assistance of an attorney, and I know on here that
okay.
has been returned to us, and it says that your address is Mel Trotter. Are you having issues with housing, ma'am?
Yes, I am. I've had some mail issues as well as some concern about identity fraud. So my plan was to get an address at Heartside Ministries. That would be the easiest location for me to gather mail.
But they are currently not accepting mail for you at this time?
I am aware, the last place that had me registered to receive mail was Heartside Ministries. I then moved over to Degage's, but I've had some issues with violence and threats against me, so I've been trying to stay away. It should be simple enough to reroute my mail to Heartside, however. So, but yeah, I have had issues getting any mail. Yeah.
Heartside is 54 Division.
Yes.
You have a phone number?
It's not active at this time. I haven't been able to get phone service, and it actually recently broke. So I'm waiting to try and see about if I can get another one.
All right, we're going to send some information to you out there at the jail about who your court-appointed attorney is and how to contact them.
Okay.
With your mail and phone difficulties, make contact with them, all right?
Okay.
We'll say not guilty on this matter for you. Do you have any other criminal matters that are active or pending at this time?
The only one that I knew about was a misdemeanor destruction of property, and that was in regards to a gentleman that I knew was a very violent sex offender, and he was stalking me.
I know the details about that. I only need to know Like, are you on pre-trial? or is that-
No. There was just only one other recent incident where I did commit something, but I don't know the status of that, so I need to maybe find out.
All right, Ms. Parkala, unless you object, I'm going to set this as a $500 personal recognizance bond. We'll allow Ms. Hoddersbeck to be released from the Kent County Jail. We'll schedule her for a pretrial conference on July 7th at 11:10 in the morning. If you are not able to make contact with the court-appointed attorney, be here anyway, okay?
Okay.
District Court in the city of Kentford, County of Kent. We're at 4740 Walma Avenue, and we'll send you that address as well.
Okay.
I have no objection to that, Your Honor. And Leanne, there is a bus stop right by this courthouse, so you should be able to get there, okay?
Okay, and then just to verify, the mail will be going to which address, or you're sending it to here so that I can take it with me?
Well, we're going to send a fax out there to the jail. You should have this in your
Okay.
today, but all future correspondence, we're going to try to send to Hartside for you, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I would also note that I did go over the misdemeanor evasive rights form with Leanne earlier, and she gave me permission to sign on her behalf.
All right, ma'am, when you are released from the Kent County on time for all court appearances, you may not leave the state of Michigan without the court. You may not commit crimes while out on bond. Keep us notified of your address. If there's a better way that we can contact you, a different address or an email, please contact the court and give it to us. In the meantime, you may not be on the premises of 1920 44th Street Southeast in the city of Kentwood. You may not possess or purchase any firearms or ammunition or dangerous weapons. Those are all the pretrial release conditions I'm putting on you at this time. We'll see you back here on July 7th. You're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Robinson? Yay.
You are Jason Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the state of Michigan versus Jason Robinson, case number 30094ST. Mr. Robinson, it appears to me that, well, give me a second, because this is kind of an older file.
No problem.
All right. The state of Michigan alleges that back on March 6th of 2020 in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of driving while your license was suspended, revoked, or denied. That is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 9 years in jail, a fine of $500 plus court cost and collateral consequences like Secretary of State penalties. It appears that you failed to appear for your original arraignment date. We sent you a couple of letters regarding that. We had 302 Janet came back to us. You never appeared, and a bench warrant was issued. Did you talk to Ms. Barkema regarding this offense? Talk to her about your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As to the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
You can enter a not guilty plea for you. We'll set you up with a pretrial conference. You'll come here and meet with me on, I'm thinking July 7th, but I have to get that confirmed. What is your address? Where can we?
It says 624 Abbey Lane, ABBIE.
Okay, again, try one more time, more slowly. 624
Sorry. 624 Abbey Lane.
ABBIE.
Yes, ma'am.
What city and state?
Wyoming, Michigan.
Do you know the zip code?
49509.
Does your phone number end in 6234?
No. I had to think. I had written the whole number in my head. It's my number is 406-7263.
All right. The pretrial conference in this matter will be July 6th at 1:50. And then we'll send that out to the jail. So you have it, or you should have it, when you are leaving. Ms. Barkema, any comments regarding bond?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I did speak with Mr. Robinson. We went over his misdemeanor advice of rights. He did give me permission to sign that on his behalf. He is a lifelong resident. He is a lifelong resident of Kent County, has been living at his current residence sometime last year. He does have a GED. He's been working for the last 12 years at the same employer at Billmac. He works 40 plus hours a week. He's not currently on probation or parole anywhere. And given the nature of the charge, we'd ask the court for a PR bond.
All right, so this is what we will do. We will set a personal review bond and this clerk will bail him out $100. In the meantime, Mr. Robinson, no driving without a valid license. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You must keep us notified of your address. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. We will see you back here on July 7th.
Thank you, ma'am. Sounds like a plan. We all set? All right.
Yeah. What?
What is your name, ma'am?
Helms.
This is the state of Michigan versus Don Rose Helms, case number 20-30102 SM. Helms, the state of Michigan alleges that back on March 11th of 2020, you committed the offense of retail fraud in the second degree. That is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. You pled not guilty to this offense back in August of before my predecessor. A number of dates were scheduled for you. You failed to appear. There was a bench warrant. You came back. A number of additional dates were set. And we have not seen you, it appears, since October 21st of last year. Where have you been?
I have not been able to receive mail regularly, and I've kind of been looking for somewhere to sleep. I'm currently homeless.
Did you talk with Ms. Barkema regarding your rights?
Yes.
As to the offense of retail fraud, second degree, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
I'm not guilty.
All right, it appears at some point you requested court-appointed counsel, and we did appoint the Kent County Office of the Defender to represent you. So you will have counsel at a pretrial conference that we are setting for July 7th at 11:15 in the morning. Ms. Barkema, I'll hear your comments as they relate to bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Ms. Helms was previously represented by Mr. Houghton in my office. I did advise her that if she was again appointed counsel, it would be Mr. Oberholzer instead. We did go over her advice of rights form. She gave me permission to sign that on her behalf. Ms. Helms has at least a mailing address out of Grandville that I'm sure she'd be able to give the court if you don't have that already. She's been a resident in Kent County for about 20 years now. She has both a GED and additional certificates in vocational training in marketing, as well as being a CNA. But she has been struggling with some mental health issues. And obviously she has already advised the court that she has struggled with housing instability. She has secured employment at B&G Fish Fry, doing opening and closing sanitation. She has 2 children. One is her younger daughter who stays with her on and off, and she has an adult son. She's not currently on probation or parole anywhere. And given that we've now been able to make contact with her and hopefully we'll be able to maintain contact with her, we'd ask the court to set a PR bond.
All right, Ms. Helms, I'm going to set this as a $500 personal recognizance bond. You are released from the Kent County Jail. You must show up on time for all court appearances. July 7th, 11:15 in the morning is your next court appearance. You'll have that information when you leave the jail. You may not leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You must keep us notified of your address. We do have 3971 Prairie Street Southwest as an address for you. Is that your mailing address?
Yes, yes.
All right. You may not commit any crimes while out on bond. You may not be on the premises of Woodland Mall. Contact your attorney, contact the Kent County Office of the Defender. You'll have that information when you leave the jail. Get them right away so you can assist them in getting this matter resolved. We'll see you back here on July 7th. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Riley?
Yeah.
You're Bianca Riley?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is the City of Kentwood versus Bianca Riley, case number 21-50127 OT. Ms. Riley, the City of Kentwood alleges that back on or around August,
Oh, that's my birthday.
February 24th of 2021 in the City of Kentwood, County of Kent, you committed the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied, which is a misdemeanor punishment of 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500 plus court costs. You were arraigned on this matter previously. You pled not
Right
guilty.
in front of, yeah, I was arraigned in front of you, and I was supposed to bring my license back to see you. And I had 3 funerals to go to, and another one to bury my granddad Tuesday, which is tomorrow.
I'm
It's been
sorry.
pretty busy.
Did you call the court?
I did not, because I let it slip my mind. It was just so much going on. You know, me being a single parent, working, I own my own business. So I was just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I got the license like you told me to. That's one thing I did do for you.
You did.
Yes, I have a valid driver's license.
You know, I'm looking at a Secretary of State driving record dated May 24th, and it does indicate that you have a valid.
Yes, ma'am. I went in right away to get it just after I left your courtroom.
All right. Ms. Riley, have you been sitting there through all of the arraignments this afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna end this on a little bit easier note. You were charged with driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied. You came before me on arraignment. The City of Kentwood and this court have an arrangement that indicates if a defendant has restored their license to a valid status, they may plead to the lesser included offense of impeding traffic, which is a civil infraction, not a misdemeanor. It is punishable by $240 in fines. If you tender a plea to that civil infraction, you would be pleading responsible. There would not be a trial of any kind, and you would give up your right to have a trial on the driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied charge. Would you today like to take advantage of the benefit of that bargain extended by the City of Kentwood and plead to the civil infraction of impeding traffic in order to have this driving with your license suspended misdemeanor dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Were you in fact driving a vehicle in the City of Kentwood back on February 24th of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have your driver's license? Was it suspended, revoked, or denied at that time?
I had no clue that it was suspended. So they just gave me a ticket and let me go because I really did not have no clue that it was suspended. So they were just like, yeah, so they were just like, take care of it exactly like you did. So I did. I went downtown and paid the ticket and then did everything else that you asked me to do.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm recalling this warrant. I'm ordering you released from the Kent County Jail. Find you responsible for the civil infraction of impeding traffic pursuant to an agreement with this, between this court and the city attorney of Kentwood. You are fined $240 for that offense. Contact us on the next business day after your release and get that paid.
Okay.
You're all set.
Okay, no problem. Oh, Your Honor, you said next business day after I'm released. So when I'm released today, I'll have to pay it tomorrow, or can I pay it Wednesday after my granddad's funeral?
You will contact the court tomorrow and make payment or payment arrangements.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, Your Honor, we're all set.
Really? You sure?
Positive, yeah.
Did you already address Andre De La Fuente?
That is definitely not on my list.
Okay. Okay.